So I just wanted to do a quick video on the DIGIduino. The last couple of videos have been more for Kickstarter and I've just put them onto YouTube anyway. But it seems though I've done a full series from inception, prototype, manufacture. I thought it's fitting that just before we release to Kickstarter, I do a little update video on where the watch is up to, what you can do with it, what you can't do with it. And yeah, I'm just going to give you a bit of a run through of the watch. I am due to launch this on Kickstarter this week. If we haven't launched yet, head to Kickstarter and click the notify me button. That way you're going to find out as soon as it does launch. More likely you're watching this after it is launched, so I'd love it if you could be a backer, and it'll just mean a lot if we can make this thing a reality and launch it properly so you guys can start programming them. If you haven't seen the rest of the series, kind of check it out. I go into quite a lot of detail in the various design elements, the prototyping, why I made certain choices. So if you're into that kind of thing, you can watch the playlist and see how we got to this today. But if you're just interested in how the watch works, this is the video for you. I'm going to be opening it up, showing you how it can be programmed and running through those various bits. So let's jump down to the bench and let me show you where the watch is at the moment. Okay, so now we're down at the bench. I've got the watch down here. So let's just have a quick run through of how the watch functions as is. And this is how it will be received if you order one of these movements. They will come pre-programmed and I've just got a very basic watch program on there. So you click this button in the top right, that will wake the watch up. Now to save power, the watch displays the time for 10 seconds and then it goes back to sleep. Everything you see here is completely programmable. Everything you want to do, you can just change yourself. I've gone for 10 seconds just to save on battery, and I think it's the perfect amount of time to display the time, if that makes sense. So in this screen, none of the other buttons do anything else. You can also put the watch back to sleep. And when I say put the watch to sleep, what this is doing is actually shutting down the chip into a sleep state, so it's basically idle and barely using any power. I go into this in a lot more detail in some of my older videos where I'm experimenting with this. So to wake it up, we press this button. Now to set the time, we hold the top left button and we go into set mode. And now I'm able to increment the hours or the minutes one at a time. If I've set that time, I leave it. The watch will then go into sleep mode. And then we can check that it's been stored by waking it up and it's got the new stored time. Now if I went to set mode by mistake and started changing the time, but I realised that was wrong, I just click the wake button again and it'll clear that set mode and stay in the time that we're in. So that's the basic watch program that the watch will, the movements will come supplied as. So I'm just going to open it up and show you exactly how you would then program this to upload your own software. So first off, we need to open up the case back. So this is the open case back and you can see what's going on in the back here. So obviously the first thing you notice, we've got a CR2032 battery. This should give us between 6 months and a year's battery life, which I think is more than enough for a project like this. We've then got these 4 side-mounted switch buttons, and the actual pushers for the buttons are fully 3D printed, meaning you can print these in whatever colour you like. Just to add a bit of customization to it, I've put the sort of function buttons as red and the time setting buttons as the blue with the rest of the watch. And this final part here in the blue, this is the movement holder and it kind of acts as a kind of chapter ring, even though it's not a chapter ring, but this kind of separator that you get to see in the case. So you can really have a play with the colours here. I like to match the buttons with this ring and then maybe put some different coloured ones in there. It's all down to you. So if we want to upload a new program to this, first thing we're going to do is remove the battery. Like so. I've got a little reminder in there as well. We're then going to use the programming shield This is an optional extra. I'd only really recommend getting this if you are going to look at programming it. And this little cable. And then we connect the shield to your Arduino, like so. And then you plug this into the PC, obviously. I've already done a video on how you program external chips, and then you can upload new software to this. You have access to all 4 buttons, the screen, and you can create some new functions and see what you want to put on there. Once it's done, by the way, the watch will be powered from this whilst you're in development mode, so as you're making changes to it, you can trial the watch in this sort of tethered mode, and then obviously when you're ready to wear the watch again, you just remove that cable, pop your battery back in, and as you can see, the watch will run back in its mode. So that's quite a quick run through of the DIGIduino. Hopefully this has cleared up a few questions that you might have. I'm really looking forward to seeing what people are going to start programming for this. I've got a few ideas. My strong point isn't the software side of it, it's more the hardware design and the 3D printing aspect. I've managed to get this basic code up and running, so if you're not into programming, you're going to have a basic digital watch. But I'd quite like to get a stopwatch working on this, some kind of random number generator, that kind of thing. We don't have Wi-Fi, we don't have Bluetooth, there's no kind of sensors, but actually the limitations that are there make you think in a more creative way. Because we've got these restrictions on what you can and can't do, the display for example, it kind of really pushes you to come up with something quite creative. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what people are going to make with this. If you are going to back, put it in the comments, let me know. I want to thank you personally. But that's going to be it for today's video. Like I said, Kickstarter is going live this week. Stay tuned to find out when that happens. Please back if you can. Thank you for watching all the way to the end of this video. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one.